Hello folks and welcome. So wattOS. I'm going to be talking about installing LibreOffice from terminal, also a dictionary. It's called Golden Dictionary, also from terminal. I'll also cover some brief things on LibreOffice, a couple of tips, resizing text, talk about also the Golden Dictionary, which is an offline dictionary. It's not part of LibreOffice, but it does complement that, I think, where you can copying and paste not only words, but also the dictionary has also images with some of the keyword searches that you use, and you can also use those images just as some examples. So I will demo some of that stuff. I'll also just give you a couple of tips on resizing text, closing windows, and that kind of stuff. So in either case, folks, welcome. wattOS is an LXDE type of desktop and uses an open box window manager. You can also find wattOS information if you're just looking for quick information by either doing a keyword search on your web browser, or you can go to DistroWatch and go find that distribution and read all about it, as one would say. And I think I actually have another video, an intro video on this that I made about a month ago. So in either case, it normally does not have an Office suite installed, so you can install that through terminal if you want, and that's how I did mine, and I'll cover all that toward the end of the video. Today I'm filming in 1920 by 1080, folks, so adjust your YouTube player accordingly by hitting that gear symbol. Now my panel bar is kind of rather weird looking, and more importantly, the theme that I'm using is a dark theme today. So hopefully you can see this. But more importantly, as I get going, things are about to get smaller because I have this text blown up rather large. But you can always adjust your screen resolution on your YouTube player. Now I'm going to use Alt F4 and continue this process. I have a weird piece of wallpaper that I threw up just to have some fun. And then I'm going to click the wattOS icon and basically go over to the Office section. So I will point out how to install Golden Dictionary and the whole LibreOffice suite if you're curious, all out of terminal. Let me start with Golden Dictionary. Once you open this, it produces an icon on your panel bar. That weird looking icon, it almost looks like a QR code, sits right next to the time. I don't care if you hit the X in the corner or use Alt F4, it's gonna stay resident until you right click and quit. Alright, so you can resize the text in here by doing it the old fashioned way. Okay, that's full size. This is plus plus plus, minus minus minus, or you can do it my way. If you have seen any of my videos on any distributions, you probably know that I do some things a little differently on a lot of things. Well, this is no exception. So I'm holding down my control key with my left hand while using my right hand with my USB-based computer mouse scroll wheel to resize text. No big deal. You can resize your window this way. You can also maximize it this way. So let's go look for a word. I'm going to use the same word I've been using lately because I've done several videos on the combination of LibreOffice and the dictionary part. So this is an offline dictionary. You just look up words and you can borrow text out of here. Right click, copy, or Control C. You can also borrow the images if you'd like. Alright, so you can resize the text my way. I know you can't read this. I just wanted to point out the thumbnails and images that are in here. There are quite a few just on that one keywords that I just produced. Okay, no big deal though. Let me resize this my way and then point to the fact that it's got etymology too. What that means is what's the word mean and where did it come from. Alright, so it's an offline dictionary. Nice and handy to have. If you don't like to resize the text my way, then do it the old-fashioned way up here. Alright, so, and then of course, you can investigate some other keyboard commands that are currently in there. You can see them right here. It's Control plus plus, Control plus negative, Control plus 0 if you don't want to use my method. I find it rather quick when I do this. All right, I'm going to use Alt F4 to close this, but just wanted to point out the fact that even if you close it that way or this way, I'm leaving that word highlighted so you can see this. It leaves it open. It just minimizes this when you're doing this. You physically have to right click on it and hit quit for you to get rid of that. It not only closes the dictionary, but it goes back to the default main window, in other words. All right, I'm just going to hit X and let's talk about LibreOffice. So, not sure if you're familiar with LibreOffice, so this is little tips and tricks just for the folks that are brand new to LibreOffice. So if you are, LibreOffice is best price. Of course, it's free, and it has Writer, Spreadsheet, Presentation, Draw, Math, and a database. So on some distributions, you'll have to install that separately, but not on this one. Well, at least the keyword that I used to install that in Terminal installs all of this at the same time. You got some templates. Some folks make their own templates, and you have a drop-down arrow here which you can hit Manage Templates, and then hit this little Browse Online Templates also, and you'll come to a website called extensions.libreoffice.org. Okay, I'm going to use Alt F4 to close it. These are clickable. Alt F4 to close, and then I'm going to use Alt F4 to close that sub window, template window. And now I'm going to actually open up Writer. Oh, actually, before I do that, I apologize. You can also hit Extensions down here at the bottom. Now I'll use another Alt F4 to close that because I don't want to aim for that red X in the corner. Okay, let's open up Writer. I'll do a quick demo on the percentages of view. So I'll type the word test on there. Actually, I'll misspell it on purpose so you can see the spell checker. Little squiggly underneath there, right click, and select the word that you think is the best fit. So tests. I'm just going to put in tests on there. So I'll type in a couple of more words, or 2 more words. How's that? Well, test 1, 2. Or test, I should say test maybe. Test 1, 2. How's that? Test 1, 2. Well, either way. Look down in the lower right hand corner of the actual LibreOffice Writer, not on my panel bar. There's a 120% zoom factor here. You can grab a hold of that tiny little grab bar if you like. It's very sensitive. Or you can do it my way. Hold down your control key on your keyboard while grabbing a hold of my USB based mouse scroll wheel to resize the text. I am not resizing the font. I am resizing the view. You can see the percentages change right here. The smallest it'll go is 20%. The largest I believe is 600. So that's 600% currently. I'll go somewhere in between. I'll make it rather large. We'll leave it at a 300% so you can at least see this. You can also highlight one word or the complete sentence, and then you can click the B, or you can hold down your control key and hit B for bold, and B again for unbold. Okay, now let me talk about a couple of methods to save. You can use the save as or save, and guess what? It comes up with save as anyways. So the untitled one is your default name for your file, and check your path. My username for today is Mr. Mark. It's just a made-up name. You probably saw that when I had Terminal open, and you'll see it again because I'll show you how to install not only LibreOffice but also the dictionary a little bit later. So give your document the appropriate name, but the default is ODT. You don't have to take that. You can click the down arrow key and select other file formats. Microsoft Word 2007 or Office 365 docx, and then the old Microsoft Word 97 through 2003 .doc, for instance. There's other file formats in here. Now, I am going to use Alt F4 to close that box. I could have just used the red X in the corner. So you have several ways to save things. You have a help key if you're brand new to LibreOffice, help, user guides, online, and what version is this? This version is 7.0.4.2. There are lots of different versions of LibreOffice out there, as an FYI. All right, I can't use, well, if I use Alt F4, it's going to complain that I didn't save this because I typed something. It's the same thing as me clicking that. It's still going to complain and ask me to save it. Alt F4 does the exact same thing. All right, I'm going to use Do Not Save. So let me open up Terminal now, and hopefully you can see this. So I'm going to type in history, as in history of commands. Let me make this a little bit larger for you. Hopefully that's good enough. There's only 2 installation commands here. If you're not that familiar with installing software through terminal for wattOS, it's sudo apt install. So super user do space apt space install is the install command, space, and the package name or software or application, in this case LibreOffice. So sudo apt install LibreOffice and sudo apt install Golden Dict. That's the dictionary. I could use either the word exit or Alt F4. It doesn't matter. Alt F4 is more convenient. So, recap, folks. LibreOffice Golden Dictionary. You can also probably find that System Tools, and let's see, Synaptic Package Manager. Might as well open that up just to point out, to let you see where the software is coming from. The repositories. It's coming mostly from Debian. You can see all the check marks next to this. As a matter of fact, all of them are coming from Debian. All right, you can also possibly investigate looking at fonts, maybe, if you're wanting to add some extra fonts, just as a bonus. So you can also resize this box. But anyways, you may want to investigate that. I'm going to use Alt F4 to close that. And then I'll say thank you for watching, folks, and take care.